Hey there, fight fans. Welcome to the UFC on ESPN Plus 13. Germaine de Randamie versus Aspen Ladd. Live, play-by-play, radio-style result stream brought to you by SB Nation MMA, which includes BloodyElbow.com and MMAMania.com, the only two websites on the entire planet you'll ever need to visit if you're looking to find out what's happening in mixed martial arts. I'm your host, as always, Flyin Brian J. You guys in the live chat during this main card portion will be my co-hosts as I try to keep you informed on all of the action that is happening behind that tiny little ESPN Plus paywall, starting with Marvin Vettori versus Cesar Ferreira, all the way to the main event, GDR versus Aspen Ladd. Of course, the co-main event is Urijah, the California Kid Faber, taking on rising star and formidable opponent, Ricky Simón. Josh Emmett versus Mirsad Bektic will be before that. The second fight on the main card is Carl Robertson versus Wellington Turman. The prelims are over, and they were mostly forgettable. There's not a lot that we'll need to go over on the prelim portion. There were a couple of really cool finishes. Andre Touchy Fili's right straight counter to a head kick, followed by his own right round that started the beginning of the end for Sheymon Moraes, was really, really cool. And then a couple of fights before that, or a few fights before that, Jonathan Martinez, as the commentators were saying that somebody needs to just go for it here. We need to just go for it. Go for the finish. It has to happen. We need something to happen. He throws a knee straight up the middle and knocked out Pingyuan Liu. And the next fight after that was Ryan, the Wizard Hall, decisioning Darren the Damage Elkins with a really weird kicking game, like a very fun, smooth kicking game. In fact, there was a spinning heel that hurt Darren Elkins at one point. A couple of left straights in the second round ended up dropping Darren Elkins briefly. And it was mostly the threat of the submission, of course, from Ryan Hall that got him that decision over Darren Elkins. I mean, it was very impressive that he got off on so much successful striking against Elkins. Maybe it wasn't that surprising, but Ryan Hall, mostly known for his very dangerous jiu-jitsu game, winning on the feet was somewhat of a surprise. Other than that, Juliana Pena defeated Nico Montano, unanimous decision. It was basically Pena was getting the better of Montano on the feet, but in the first round, Pena came out a little sluggish, looked like she might have had some ring rust, wasn't doing as well in the clinch as I thought she might do. But then as the fight went on, she got better in the clinch. She got showed her strength off against Nico Montano and got that win after, I think it was 897 days away from mixed martial arts competition. Her last time before this was where she lost in the main event via armbar submission to the flyweight champion, Valentina Bullet Shevchenko. Now, Nico Montano, she was the inaugural UFC Women's Flyweight Champion with a unanimous decision win over Roxanne Modafferi. She was away from the octagon since December 1st, 2017. I don't know what to do with her. I don't know what to think about her performance tonight. I don't know what to think about her future in mixed martial arts. She thought about retiring. A lot of people were saying she was scared of Shevchenko. Obviously, she's not going to be getting a title shot now, and she's 7-3, 1-2 in her last 3 fights, like official professional bouts. Not that great of a record. Anywho, let's go back to. Oh, and the second fight of the night, Brianna Van Buren got a decision win over Livia Renato Souza. That was an impressive performance, although it went to a decision because Van Buren is the shortest fighter on the roster at 5'0", and she packs quite a wallop. She was walking Renato Souza down. She would get Souza kind of corralled up against the fence and then fire off with really big, powerful combinations and was hurting Renato Souza. And I was very impressed by that tiny little fighter. Can I say that she's 5'0"? That's not a very large human being, but she packs a lot of power. Excuse me. As June said, if you enjoy watching the show, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so we can reach our goals and keep bringing you these shows. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And also, as she says, the results from the entire card will be in the description box shortly. Right now, what's happening on ESPN Plus is they're talking about Urijah Faber's Hall of Fame career. He's the most submissions, 6, tied for the most finishes in 6, with 6 in UFC bantamweight history. 3rd most wins in UFC bantamweight history at 10. Former WEC featherweight champion, 5 successful defenses between 2006 and 2008. And he's a modern era wing Hall of Famer. He was inducted in 2017. I don't understand why, when we go to this ESPN Plus portion, the pacing doesn't seem to be that much better than the pacing that was on the ESPN, the regular ESPN portion. But nonetheless, we're going to watch some hype going on, and then eventually here we will be watching the first fight on the main card, where I'll be doing the play-by-play for the first fight on the main card, Marvin Vettori versus Cesar Mutanchi Ferreira. Let's go over the odds on that fight. One tick of the clock here. Vettori is a minus 210 favorite. The comeback on Cesar Ferreira is plus 190. The odds makers think that this fight is going to go to the decision because fight goes to the judges is minus 140. The comeback on fight does not go to a decision is plus 110. So there's that. Refresh the chat. Nobody's here chatting. If you guys have watched the prelim portion of this fight card, tell me what rating you would give it between 1 and 5 or A to F. I would give it a 2 out of 5 or a D. I'm not trying to be negative Nancy, but most of that, like I said, most of it was really forgettable. Ooh, I can't see. Hold on, I gotta clean my glasses a freckle here so that I can definitely see what I'm going to be calling for play-by-play on this edition of the program. How we doing, June? Is anything happening properly? Okay, finally on the ESPN Plus stream, we are finally watching a hype video for the first fight on the main card, showing a couple submissions for Vettori and Mutanchi. Let's see who each guy has defeated lately. Marvin Vettori is coming off of a split decision loss to Israel, the last stylebender Adesanya. No harm in that because Adesanya is now the interim middleweight champion of the world. I agree, June. I agree. This card, man. I'm going to talk about that for a second. One of the most idiotic rhetorics. Is it rhetoric? One of the most idiotic things that it's often talked about among mixed martial arts fans on Twitter, especially the ones that love calling themselves hardcore fans and poo-pooing on the casual fans, is it's always these cards with little name value that bring the most levels of excitement. And Dana White, when the main event, Germaine de Randamie versus Aspen Ladd, was made, and people were like, what? Main event? Uncle Dana? He's like, shut the f*** up. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. Blah. So far tonight, this card has... I didn't expect much from the prelims, but it didn't deliver that much either. And I don't expect that much from the main card portion. Maybe it'll deliver quite a bit. I think Ricky Simon's going to style on Urijah Faber. And I think that Josh Emmett is going to knock out Mirsad Bektic as a slight underdog. The odds on that, Bektic is a minus 165 favorite. The comeback on Emmett is plus 155. But the odds for Emmett via KO or TKO is plus 280. So that'd be fun. Ro Jogan, Aspen wins via TKO. Brutus B, glad to be back. What's up, my friend? Thanks for being here. Ha ha ha. Jim Joe Bobley says that Ladd is going to win by flying knee in 4 seconds, which would be a little bit less of a... I mean, that'd be fantastic. Oh, my God. That'd be something insane. Of course, he's making a reference to last week, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal flying knee knockout of Ben Askren. But if it were to happen in 4 seconds, it'd be a testament to how fast the referee got there and called it over. And then that'd be like the shortest lived fastest knockout in UFC history record that was ever held. That would be fantastic. What up, Uncle Hank? Nathan Cohen. This card would get a 9 out of 10 for me if Ricky Simón. Is it Simón or does he go by Ricky Simon? Just checking my microphone volume. Yeah. Ooh. How we doing up there in La La Land? I'm being weird, I know. I think it's Ricky Simon. It would be cooler if it was Simón, but Kyle Mongari says Faber's gonna win. ... Go Sacktown. Mr. Marie, how many blows after the bell do you think de Randamie will strike tonight? I don't know, but yeah, that's one reason why she is not a fan favorite is because 2 or 3 times after the bell, when she fought Holly Holm for the inaugural women's featherweight title, she hit Holm like 3 times after the bell, and the referee just warned her each time, like, come on, man, get with it, actually take some points away. Edward Pollington, do I think Faber can challenge for a title still? Absolutely not. When he retired a while back now, I didn't think he could. Let's see, how long has he been away? His last win was a decision over Brad Pickett in December of 16, so 2.5 years ago. He couldn't contend then. He had back-to-back losses to Dominic Cruz and Jimmy Altera Rivera. No, absolutely not. Nope. But here, let's go over to this. Boop. This is how we will be presenting while we do the play-by-play. Who are you guys picking to win this initial fight on the main card portion between Marvin Vettori, who is 25, 9 years younger than Cesar Ferreira? Ferreira is 1 inch taller at 6'1", and has a 4.5 inch reach advantage, does Cesar Ferreira at 78.5 inches. Bruce Buffer now has the microphone. We are live. Brought to you by Thunderhead Brewing out of Kearney, Nebraska, and also by SB Nation MMA, which includes BloodyElbow.com and MMAmania.com, the 2 best mixed martial arts websites in the world. Kyle Mongari, they should get a warning in the locker room, take a point when in the cage. They always talk about how they go over the rules in the locker room, right? So that kind of makes sense. I like where you're going with that, Kyle. Stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 185 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Miami, Florida. A plus 130 underdog with a record of 14-7. Cesar Ferreira Mutanchi. Or I could have said Mutanchi in the middle, but you get it. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. A mixed martial artist with a professional record of 12 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Fighting out of Mezzocarona, Italia, Italy. Minus 160 favorite, Marvin Vettori. Dude's nickname is the Italian Dream. Okay, buckaroo. Len D says Mutanchi, first round, submission probably. And I will start my own clock so you know where we're at. And we are live. Oh, one thing I forgot to do. Okay, both guys are in the southpaw stance. Both guys are wearing boxer briefs, but Vettori's are way longer. They are almost to his knees, and Mutanchi's are just past his cup, basically. I mean, he's got the short Valetudo shorts on, the boxer briefs. Brutus B, not familiar with these guys, but he's going to find out who's about to win. And Kyle Mongari thinks that Fajeda's going to win. And we start the fight off with an eye poke. Mutanchi poked Vettori in the eyes. Herb Dean says, you can get a point taken away just for the fingers being pointed toward the eyes. Okay. Wow, very sassy Herb Dean tonight. Herb says, should I bring in their physician? And Vettori says, no, I'm good, man. I'm good, brah. And we resume. There's actually 4 minutes and 20 seconds left, so I'm going to pause my clock for a bit. But, again, both guys in the southpaw stance. It is Vettori who's walking forward. Cesar Ferreira's moving back into his left. Outside low kick lands for Mutanchi. There we go. Front kick to the body, missed by Mutanchi, but then a big left hand landed for Mutanchi, but comes forward with a couple of right hooks and a left straight behind it is Marvin Vettori. Vettori's throws the jab out there, wide left. All on the guard of Mutanchi. Good high defense by Mutanchi early. I'm going to call him, should I call him Ferreira or Mutanchi? All right, I'll call him Ferreira. Right hook to the body lands for Ferreira. Lead hook to a left straight lands on the guard again of Ferreira from Vettori. Ooh, a big shifting in and then an overhand right landed on the face of Vettori from Ferreira, but not with a lot of pop behind it. Inside low kick lands for Ferreira. Ferreira once again feints with his left leg. Ooh, spinning heel came with a lot of velocity, but went right in front of the face of Vettori from Ferreira. He thought it had a lot of speed on it. Michael Bisping said that he was starting to sweat, but that really fast kick cooled him down. Must have pushed a lot of wind his way. Lead hook to a left straight lands for Vettori as Mutanchi still moving back into his left, circling laterally to his left quite a bit here. Mutanchi Ferreira comes forward with a couple of jabs that land on the guard of Vettori. The outside low kick once again lands for Ferreira. Right in the center of the octagon right now, on top of the Thunderhead Brewing logo. Outside low kick lands for Ferreira. Oh, big left hook landed to the body for Ferreira. Outside low kick lands for Ferreira. Oh, a combination in tight land for Vettori. Vettori's got a really good chin. He's a very durable fighter. Inside low kick lands for Ferreira. Ooh, a jab, then a knee to the body, then a left hand behind it. The left hand behind it landed with quite a bit of power for Vettori on Ferreira. They get in a Muay Thai clinch position. Actually, it was Ferreira grabbing the plum clinch, and Vettori was just kind of firing shots away, which forced Ferreira to back out of that clinch. Inside low kick lands for Ferreira. Neither guy has the momentum right now. It's kind of a back and forth. Inside low kick lands for Ferreira. A left behind it, counter behind it lands for Vettori. Vettori lands a jab, tries to go for a wide left, but Ferreira ducks under it. Rear hand uppercut attempted by Ferreira, but didn't land. Inside low kick lands for Ferreira, but Vettori kind of grabbed a takedown. Now he's in side control on top of Ferreira on the ground here. Vettori passes into full mount. Whoa! Short shots to the side of the head here on Ferreira from Vettori. Full mount. Oh man, very nice buck off by Ferreira. Ferreira bucked him off, and now Vettori's standing, and Ferreira is trying to push him off with his feet. Vettori falls back into the full guard position, right to the body, then a right upstairs lands for Marvin Vettori. Oh, a short elbow lands for Vettori, and it might have opened a cut on the bridge of the nose of Ferreira. I got a different camera angle now than I was seeing when I said that, so I don't know for sure. And that's the end of the round. I need to look at Fajeda's face. And commercial. Thanks a lot, ESPN. So whoops. The offense toward the end of that round ends up with the score going for Marvin Vettori. Mr. Marie, how's Bisping's commentary? These commercials are really stupid. Really, really, really stupid. Please get off my screen, stupid commercials. I want to hear the corner talk. Why are they... Okay, yes, there is a cut on the bridge of the nose of Mutanchi Fajeda. We can do that in between fights, Toasty McToasterson. I was a little late on my clock here, so I'll start at 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first round, or second round here. And 4:30. Here we go. Wide right, no, lead right hook. Oh, Vettori gets a takedown. Okay. Vettori left behind the knee, right hand kind of upstairs behind the back. Just a dump takedown on Fajeda. Right to the body, right upstairs, lands for couple of hook combinations up against the fence for Vettori land as he Fajeda is now bloodied up again. Coming from that cut that I mentioned, they did a good job on it between rounds, putting Vaseline on it, maybe some end swell, but now there's blood trickling down from the bridge of his nose. Fajeda dipped in with the left uppercut to the body, landed it, but now Vettori in on a takedown attempt. He's going for a double leg. He's got Mutanchi Fajeda up against the fence here. Fajeda defending well with his feet wide. He's got that wide base. The cut's pretty big, yeah, Brutus. It is. Thank you for subscribing, Uncle Possum Fur. What? Possum Emperor? Possum Pfeffer. Possum Pfeffer. The cut, well, it's not that big of a cut, but it is trickling quite a bit of blood. June said that there was a commenter earlier this week. A wide right just snapped the head back of Fajeda from Vettori. Outside low kick lands for Fajeda. Okay, so June says that this commenter said that de Randamie vs. Ladd is only in the main event because of feminism. She found this comment absurd. Thoughts? Obviously, that's not why it's in the main event. I think Aspen Ladd is quite marketable. She has been dominant. She's a young person who they think might be a champion, and it definitely is a number one contender fight. Just last week, maybe the biggest event of the year, UFC 239. John Jones in the main event. Amanda The Lioness Nunes in the co-main event. Holly Holm. Then 1 week later, you put her next challenger in the main event of a fight card. I think it might have some eyeballs on it, and then maybe you can sell the fight with Nunes versus whoever the next time out. I think that the reason why it's the main event is because it's a clear number one contender fight. De Randamie, has she not lost in a really long time? Let's look at that for a second. Oops, sorry, 1 second. We'll come back to this fight in a moment. But Germaine de Randamie hasn't lost since she lost via TKO to Amanda Nunes in November of 2013. So, yeah. And then Aspen Ladd has never lost. She's coming off of a unanimous decision win over Sijara Eubanks, but before that she had a TKO over Tanya Evinger, a TKO over Lena Landsberg. Okay, a minute left in the second round between Vettori and Ferreira. We've got Vettori, of course, still the one pressing forward. Ferreira moving back into his left. He's kind of moving forward into his left now, but he's moving laterally. The cut on his nose is trickling more blood, and he's got some redness underneath of his right eye. Kind of his whole area around the nose, under the eyes, is quite red. Ferreira with a takedown attempt, easily shook off by Marvin Vettori, and we get into a 50-50 clinch position, and I think Vettori has been showing that he's the stronger fighter this entire fight with the takedowns, and he's definitely showing it right now with in this 50-50 underhook position, as he's the one that is getting the better of Mutanchi. Ferreira pressing Ferreira's back up against the fence here. Knee to the thigh in this position a couple of times, lands for Vettori. A third one. Herb Dean is calling for some action. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of it there, Herbus Deanus, the refereeus. Yeah, Brennan Fitzgerald just said, not much action to speak of here in the later portion of round number 2. Regardless of how much action we had, here we're going to get ready for round number 3. Vettori clearly won that round. I think Vettori is in control of the bout. It is his fight to lose as we head to the third and final round. And another really stupid commercial. Hi, bye. Okay, bye. Oh my goodness, get off my screen, Cricket Wireless. I hate you. Vettori's corner says, you won the first and second round, but I prefer to say the fight is even. Let's go into this third round acting like we really need it. Some of the highlights which caused the redness underneath the right eye of Cesar Ferreira is the 1-2 combinations from Marvin Vettori as he presses forward and tries to track down the reverse lateral movement of Ferreira. Ferreira has absorbed 53 head strikes, 6 to the body and 7 to the legs. 53 head strikes. Not ideal. I forgot to change the time on my clock there, so I'll start at 4:45. Where's the clock here, fellas? I need to see the clock. Oh, my goodness. I don't know, 50 seconds probably gone by. Here we go. Ferreira in on a takedown attempt. Vettori, with good hip pressure, gets a whizzer with his right arm, easily defends it there. A big left hand attempted from Ferreira, but no dice. A jab and then a jab cross lands for Vettori, but at the end of that combination, a big left hand landed for Mutanchi. They are in the phone booth. Remember, I think it was Dan Severn with that in Pride, where they were just like hammering on each other in like the 50-50 plum clinch. That kind of just happened for a brief, maybe 3-second moment in this fight. Koba says, noted feminist Dana White, LOL. More likely old man Faber doesn't want to do 5 rounds. Well, I think that also why Faber co-main event, it gets butts in the seats, and then people aren't going to just like, well, Faber's done, I'm going home now. You paid the ticket price to be in the arena, and they're going to stay and then watch the number 1 contender fight, in my opinion, between De Randamie and Aspen Ladd. So you got Faber getting the eyeballs on the contest in the arena, maybe the eyeballs on the contest on ESPN Plus 2, and then the important fight, divisionally important fight, is the main event. It's like really important divisionally. Big combination for Vettori lands. It was a couple of right hands on the end of it that have now caused the trickle of blood to come out of like the inside of his nostrils of the nose of Cesar Ferreira. June agrees with me, the reasoning. Another commenter this week said Faber versus Simón should be the main event. Nope. Curtis Hill, I hope Aspen smashes this chick. 50-50 underhook position. Vettori walking Ferreira back to the fence. Ferreira is able to circle to his left and out from that 50-50 50-50 clinch position. Now we are smack dab in the center of the octagon on top of the Thunderhead Brewing out of Kearney, Nebraska logo. Both guys seem to be tired. They're shaking out their legs a little bit, bouncing. A jab cross lands barely for Marvin Vettori. All 3 punches landed, but none of them with a lot of mustard behind them. Maybe you could call it ketchup instead of mustard. I make myself laugh sometimes. What's up, James Carson? Thanks for being here, my friend. R. Destroy. Who am I rooting for in the main and co-main event? I'm rooting and tooting in for Aspen Ladd and Urijah Faber, but I put a bet on the opposite side of it because I think that Germaine de Randamie is going to cash as an underdog because she has like the best takedown defense in the history of the women's bantamweight division. Or like maybe she's never been taken down in the UFC. And Aspen Ladd would kind of need, a big jab cross lands for Marvin Vettori. I think that Aspen Ladd, right hook landed on Fajeda from Vettori, kind of shook Fajeda's head around. I think Aspen Ladd would need to get the fight to the ground and get off on that like screaming, vicious ground and pound that she's got in order to get this victory. And if she can't get the fight to the ground, she's not going to be able to get off on that ground and pound. Fajeda in on a takedown attempt, and Marvin Vettori moved off to the side, kind of gave him a little ole and made him pay for it with a popping 1-2. And then he, as Fajeda moved to his right, Vettori then landed another pop shot, kind of snapping the head back a couple of times of the obviously wounded, and definitely behind him. Boom, a big left hand lands for Marvin Vettori, but Fajeda still has his wits about him. What do you guys think about the main event? In a second here, as soon as this fight's over, let's look at the stats on Germaine de Randamie's takedown defense. And Aspen Ladd has some decent stand-up striking as well, but I think Germaine de Randamie has some of the best stand-up striking, technically sound, good footwork, long straight punches and kicks that are in this division. And I think de Randamie's going to have a size advantage, a length advantage, better lateral movement. And I think that if the fight can't go to the ground, it's Germaine de Randamie's to win. But people don't like her, and I think that's one reason why she's the underdog in this bout. Okay, I'm not putting up the third Marvin Vettori, but Marvin Vettori won 30-27. R. Destroy. I don't know much about Aspen Ladd and Ricky Simón. Never heard of Ricky Simón, to be honest. Ricky Simon's coming off of a really, really impressive decision win over Hanayaya, his last time out, February 10th of 2019. Before that, he decisioned Montel Jackson. Ricky Simón has really good takedowns. He's got a submission guillotine choke over Merab Dvalishvili. That's huge. The guy hasn't lost since he lost to Anderson Dos Santos, rear naked choke at Titan FC in 2016. Since then, he's on a lot of wins in a 2-year period. He's a very hungry young fighter who's developing his game still, 26 years old. He does not have ring rust. He's coming in here against an old, slowing 40-year-old Urijah Faber who is going to also, on top of being old, he's going to have some ring rust. So, yeah, I definitely think this is Ricky Simón's fight to win. I thought it was a weird booking. I thought when Urijah Faber said he was going to come back, I thought he might take an easier fight. Nope, no dice though. Okay. Let's look at these stats for Germaine de Randamie. All 3 of the judges scored at 30-27 for Marvin Vettori. The Italian Dream. It was a decent fight, but let me tell you, it's not changing my opinion that this card has not been the best so far. Okay, let's look at these stats for Germaine de Randamie. Whoa, what's happening? .88% takedown defense for Germaine de Randamie. That's pretty huge. So, I know it says Aspen Ladd 100% takedown defense, right? Doesn't matter. Germaine de Randamie's not going to be shooting for a takedown, more than likely. Marvin Vettori just called someone out, and I didn't hear who it was. Oh my goodness. Marvin Vettori called out Paulo Borrachina Costa, the eraser. Whoa. Ballsy call out. That's a big deal. That's a big call out. Hefty. Hefty, hefty. All right, next up, we've got Carl Roberson versus the prodigy, Wellington Turman. Wellington is a cool name. I like it. I should name my next son Wellington. I like it. I like it a lot. He's fighting out of Brazil. Of course I remember you, Toasty McToasterson. You got a recognizable name. You wanted to talk about my feelings, right? You want to talk about my opinions on UFC 239. What an amazing fight card that was. We got the 5-second flying knee knockout of Ben Askren by Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. That was delightful. Stunning. Holy moly, that was nuts. Before that, Jan Blachowicz with that left hook knockout over Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold just can't defend the hooks. The left hook, man, that's how he got knocked out by Michael the Count Bisping. And Amanda Nunes, Holly Holm. In the post-fight interview, she said that she planned to Holly Holm, and actually did it. That is impressive. Amanda Nunes has defeated everybody who has ever held a belt at 145 or 135 pounds in the UFC. She's already got a win over Germaine de Randamie. She, of course, knocked out Chris Cyborg. Those are the two belt holders other than herself at 145 pounds. She knocked out Ronda Rousey. She knocked out Miesha Tate. She knocked out Holly Holm. And then she's the other holder of that belt, and she hasn't knocked herself out yet. But how impressive is that? The main event, a lot of people scored the fight for Thiago Santos, and they thought that Jon Jones got away with one there by getting the decision. It wasn't the most exciting fight ever, but I thought Jon Jones controlled the action for at least 3 out of 5 rounds and earned the decision, and that's what 2 of the 3 judges said. Jon Jones got the win. I was not very, and the main event was not very thrilling. I wasn't highly entertained by Jon Jones' performance. Nonetheless, it's cool to watch Jon Jones every time he goes out. He might be slowing. He's been in the UFC fighting the highest level of competition for a super long time every time he goes out there. What's next for him? I don't know. I'd like for him to go to heavyweight. But what else do you want to talk about? What specifically do you want to talk about for UFC 239, Toasting and Toasterson? Next up on this card that we're watching right now, UFC Fight Night 155 or UFC on ESPN Plus 13, is Carl Roberson versus Wellington Turman, as I mentioned previously. Let's go over the odds for this fight. By the way, the odds makers got it right that fight would go to a decision in the last one. Now, Roberson is minus 210. The comeback on Turman is plus 190. This fight over 1.5 rounds, minus 127. Fight goes to a decision, almost 2-1. Me neither, Michael Wall, but we're still here taking in the content. June says that she's also rooting for Aspen Ladd and the California Kid, although she is fairly certain that de Randamie and Simón will end up winning. She hasn't made the graphics for the 6th round yet, though. Now, Wellington Turman is making his way to the octagon, too. Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. What? All the real ninjas in America. We represent for TA. Throw it up. Mississippi, throw it up. I know the song beats real hard on subs. Got a lot of bass. Throw it up. Throw it up. Throw it up, motherfucker. Throw it up. Interesting walkout song by Wellington Turman. Wellington Turman is in the Flyin Brian J prep point. Follow me on Twitter at Flyin Brian J, on Facebook at Flyin Brian Show, and make sure to visit bloodyelbow.com and MMAmania.com, the two best MMA websites on the entire mother effing planet. Wellington Turman is on a 4-fight win streak. He has finished 11 of 15 wins, 4 knockouts, 7 submission, and 8 first-round finishes. If you haven't already, please consider giving the video a thumbs up. It would really help me out. My goal is going to be like 100 on this video. That would be pretty dope. Now, Wellington Turman is inside of the octagon. Stomps down. He'll be wearing white and gray board shorts. What a weird walkout song to choose. I mean, like, what am I drinking from Thunderhead tonight, says June. Hold on 1 second. As Carl Robertson makes his way to the octagon, he'll be fighting, he was born in Neptune, New Jersey. 1 second here. Let's go with the shavings. Let's go with the Sherbometer. Bing. Alrighty. Sheybon's Pilsner by Thunderhead Brewing out of Kearney, Nebraska. One of the best beers that you could possibly drink during the summertime. It is a classic German Pilsner, lagered for 6 weeks before it is packaged, before it's carbonated and then packaged. Put in this here beautiful can. Mwah. It is, what do we put for alcohol by volume on this thing? I think it's like 5.5% ABV. Delicious little treat here. Thunderhead Brewing, Kearney, Nebraska. Delightful. Michael Wall. How will future MMA fans feel about Germaine de Randamie? Is her legacy tarnished? I think that depends purely on if she decides to be active. I know that she's got some controversy behind her. She relinquished the featherweight title. People were like, oh, she's scared. She's scared of Cyborg Justino. She had the shots after the bell on Holly Holm, yada, yada, so on and so forth. She hasn't fought in... She had a decision over Raquel Pennington at UFC Fight Night Korean Zombie versus Rodriguez. But that fight came like nearly 2 years after her decision over Holly Holm for the inaugural UFC Women's Featherweight Championship. Before that, she hadn't fought. She hadn't fought in like a year. Before that, another year before that, so if she were to stay active, I think that she might be able to right the ship on her legacy, of sorts. She's a good fighter. She's inactive, and she's had some controversy. But maybe if she just stays active, she can be remembered more positively. What do you think, Michael? All right, here we go. Introducing first. Fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 15 wins, 2 losses. He stands 6'0" tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Curitiba, Paraná, Brazil, a plus 170 underdog, Wellington Turman. Fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 7 wins, 2 losses. He stands 6 foot 1 inch tall, weighing in at 185.5 pounds. Fighting out of Neptune, another planet? No, New Jersey, Carl Robertson. I'm trying to say I won't drink this here Pilsner until we're going to do the post-fight show so I can keep my wits about me. And our referee in charge, Blake Grice. Here we go. Both guys wearing board shorts. Wellingtons are gray. Robertsons are black. Wellington's calling for the touch of the gloves as we start this. Thank you, June. Dad jokes are my favorite. Carl Robertson, southpaw stance. Wellington Turman, orthodox. Both guys exchanged their power hand. The right for Turman, the left for Robertson. Front kick to the body lands for Turman. Ooh, a wide right just landed for Turman. These guys are just firing the phone booth. Another right hand landed for Turman. Robertson fired his left straight. That Turman just kind of ducked out of the way. Great head movement. Inside low kick landed for Robertson. Ooh, these guys are starting off hot and heavy. Ooh, under the collar here. Ooh, a left hook to the body landed for Robertson. Front kick missed by Turman. Smack dab in the center of the octagon. On top of the Thunderhead Brewing out of Kearney, Nebraska logo. Wide left missed for Robertson. Stepping in right straight landed just barely for Turman. Turman in on a takedown attempt. He ate a knee for his efforts, but he does have his hands clasped behind the back. He's going for a trip to pick up Robertson and take him to the mat. He picks him up, tries to put him down. Great balance by Carl Robertson. Robertson's pummeling for a right underhook here. Up and down. Turman was able to pick Robertson up and put him on his back. And now Turman is in side control. Oops, stats. Side control is Turman. He passes into north-south briefly for a second. Now back to side control. Robertson is backing himself up to the fence, trying to get back up, and Turman jumps on a guillotine, but he was off to the side there, didn't get it. Now Turman going to go take the back of Carl Robertson. Robertson and on one knee, leaning his left shoulder on the fence here, trying to have wrist control on Wellington Turman. Turman goes for a bulldog choke. Robertson turns and faces him, and now Carl Robertson is on top of Turman in full guard. Turman is controlling the posture of Robertson. He had his hands clasped behind the shoulders. Now, Turman goes for an armbar attempt. Robertson picked him up and slammed him on his back. But now, ooh, a left hand ground and pound shot lands for Robertson. Another left hand lands for Robertson. Turman's nickname is Fafeo. Well, let's look that up. As Carl Robertson is still in the full guard, let's look up what Fafeo means. It means pharaoh. Carl Robertson still on top of Wellington Turman in full guard here. Turman is landing some elbows off his back here. He throws up his legs again, going for the armbar on Carl Robertson. Robertson makes him pay for it with a couple of left-hand shots straight down onto the dome of Wellington Turman. Turman once again has his the full guard locked in, ankles locked, and also controlling the posture of Carl Robertson. Couple of right hands land, ground and pound style for Carl Robertson. Ooh, a winging left hand from the ground and pound spot. Just grazed the nose, went right past the face of Wellington Turman. Yeah, Violent Bob Ross is one of the best nicknames in mixed martial arts. First of all, I love Bob Ross. He's the joy of painting is great to watch if you're trying to go to sleep at nighttime. Fantastic. So then to apply that to a violent sport is pretty dope. Carl Robertson passes into a half guard on the right. He passed over looking down the right side of Wellington Turman. We're right on top of the SB Nation logo on the canvas. A couple of short elbows land for Carl Robertson. Jeffrey Raining says it's weird to see Brett Okamoto sit cage side with Sean Shelby. It is kind of strange. They've been pulling Brett Okamoto in quite a few times to talk about the fights. He's sitting right next to Michael the Count. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Clear round for the Baby K here. Baby K gets the round. Carl Robertson, pink. And let's get ready for round number dose. Here it is. There it is. I have to check my Verdict MMA picks so far tonight. Download Verdict MMA wherever on your app store. Friend me, Flyin Brian J. And, hey, I correctly picked Marvin Vettori via decision. Yay me, look at me go, yay. And I scored all the rounds there. Let's get my maximum points in. I have Carl Robertson via submission in round number dose. Let's see. We'll see. I was thinking arm triangle. Main card, who do I got? Let's look at my Verdict MMA picks. Can you see this? Not really, but Carl Robertson via sub. Josh Emmett via knockout, first round over Mirsad Bektic. Ricky Simón via technical knockout in round number 2. And then I got Germaine de Randamie via decision. June, with the random trivia. I had a chat with Urijah on Twitter 2 years ago when he was a big deal. It made me wet. Hashtag just saying I won't say anymore. Ah. Good one. That's crazy, June. All right. Oh, shoot. We got to start the clock. Here we go. Starting the clock right now. We're 9 seconds behind on the clock. It's going to be fine. Ooh, a left hook landed for Wellington Turman. Big left kick to the body lands for Carl Robertson. And then a right hook, left straight lands behind it. Left high kick on the guard of Wellington by Robertson lands. He comes in tight, tried to land a couple of short shots when they get kind of tied up against the fence there. None of it with a lot of pop behind it. Front kick to the body missed by Wellington Turman. Man, Robertson just landed a left shot, backed away, just out of the way of the counter from Wellington, and then fired another left behind it. Very nice work by Carl Robertson. Hey. We got Carl Robertson clinching up against the fence here. He's got double underhooks on Wellington Turman. Right before I said he's got double underhooks, he landed a short left elbow on Turman. But right now, Turman's doing a good job controlling the right wrist of Robertson. Knee to the body lands for Turman. But, Turman tried to circle to his left. He briefly had a plum clinch, but he let go of it. And now, once again, Robertson in on, he had the left underhook, and Robertson is in on a takedown attempt. He's got his hands clasped behind the back of the right leg of Turman, going for the single leg. Now, Turman kind of has the back while we're standing of Carl Robertson. He's got his hands clasped around the waist, kind of seatbelt grip on Carl Robertson. He picked up Robertson, tries to get him to the canvas. Robertson with pretty good takedown defense, good balance here. But Turman trying to fish his legs in for the double hooks. He's got the right hook in on top on Carl Robertson, but Robertson back to his feet now. But Turman still has his hands clasped around the waist of Carl Robertson. Turman goes for a left high knee to the head of Robertson. Not anywhere close. Robertson tries to pummel for an underhook to try to face Wellington Turman. Didn't get it, but now Robertson is picking up the right leg of Turman. And now Robertson's trying to separate the grip, the seatbelt grip on Turman. He's got to just push it down, lower his hips, turn and face, and he does it. We are in a 50-50 underhook position now. Turman presses Robertson up against the fence, gets the double underhook now, and Turman is trying to grapevine the left leg of Robertson, gets him to the canvas. He does get him to the canvas. Now Robertson in staff pose. 1 second. I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay, sorry, I had to let my wife in the house. Wellington Turman has the back of Carl Robertson, but Robertson might be able to shake him off the top here. Wellington Turman has double hooks in, has both of the legs hooks in, going for a rear naked choke attempt on Carl Robertson. Robertson's doing a good job answering the phone here. And Robertson ducks him off, shakes him off, and now Robertson is in the top position. Full guard on top of Wellington Turman. Oh, Turman goes for an armbar attempt. No dice. Turman's face is kind of bloodied up. Not real bloodied up, but he just kind of looks beat up. He's bleeding from his nostrils, just a freckle. Turman off of his back is landing some elbows to the shoulders of Carl Robertson. Robertson, this could get me my arm triangle, but Wellington Turman went for him to sit up, got his arm behind the back of the head of Carl Robertson, and I was hoping Robertson would just kind of sink in that arm triangle, but no, end of the round. End of the round, here we go. Who won that round? I think Carl Robertson did pretty easily, but let me just double check with the Twitter machine. Oh, what? Carl Robertson's corner is saying, look, he's tired. He's as tired as you, and he's effing scared. He's effing scared of you. He's just as tired, but he's effing scared. He's scared. He's scared, man. Yeah, I think we got 29-28 or 20-18 in favor of Carl Robertson. Michael Bisbing is saying both men are tired. Both men have taken shots. Yep, Lost Souls, 28-18. I agree. Ooh, a front kick to the body lands for Carl Robertson. Left straight barely touches the face of Wellington Turman by Carl Robertson. A right hook to left straight landed for Carl Robertson. Spinning back kick to the body lands for Wellington Turman. Knee to the body lands for Carl Robertson. Carl Robertson goes for a takedown attempt. He tried to get his hands behind the back of Wellington Turman. Didn't get it. Pressed him up against the fence. Turman gets the right underhook and spins the position around. And now he has Robertson up against the fence. And he's going for the double leg. And he pulls the hips away from the fence of Carl Robertson. Doesn't get it. But now he's got the back standing position on Carl Robertson. Has his hands clasped around his torso. Is weaving his left leg over the left leg of Carl Robertson. And is going to try to look to get this fight to the canvas. Robertson is lowering his hips, trying to break that seatbelt grip of Wellington Turman here. Turn and face him. He's being patient. And now Turman got the fight to the canvas, and Turman's going for a rear naked choke. He only has one hook in, and he doesn't get it, but he now has Carl Robertson in the full mount position. Turman, full mount on Carl Roberson. Roberson's trying to go out the back door here. He doesn't get it. Turman with some great positional control on the canvas right now. Regardless of how this fight turns out, Carl Roberson, Wellington Turman is making a good account of himself here. He's winning this third round so far. He's going to, oh, man. Wellington Turman was trying to lock up an arm triangle. I don't know what Turman's doing here. He's heavy with pressure in this full mount. Roberson has his hands clasped behind the shoulders of Wellington Turman, controlling the posture. It's about to be a submission victory for Wellington Turman. Carl Roberson is trying to... Roberson he just like tornadoed himself out of this rear naked choke. He was going to one side, and then he was like, nope, mother effer. Just spun himself really fast to the left and got out of the rear naked choke attempt from Wellington Turman. Turman had it locked in, and Roberson originally tried to break the grip on his neck, was unable to get that, and just did this swift spinning defense and was able to get out of the rear naked choke. But Turman now going for the rear naked again. We've got a turtled up on his hands and knees Carl Roberson underneath of the back pressure, the submission attempt, the attack of Wellington Turman. Turman once again has his arm underneath the neck of Roberson. Roberson bellies down. He had good wrist control, defends that rear naked choke successfully. Now Roberson is going 2-on-1 on the left wrist of Wellington Turman, but Turman has this left leg hook in, and now Turman has the left hand underneath the chin of Carl Roberson, but Roberson is defending it pretty well here still. Wellington has nope, not under the neck, not under the chin. Wellington has both hooks in. Wellington's back is on the canvas, and then his chest is on the back of Carl Roberson, who is on top of him. But Turman has both leg hooks in on Carl Roberson. Roberson is doing a good job defending here. He was controlling the wrist of Turman for a second. Man, this could be a 10-8 round. We could see a draw. Oh, Roberson exploded out, and now he is in full guard on top of Wellington Turman. Couple of left-hand ground and pound strikes. Turman going for an armbar. Oh, and Roberson right out of it. Oh, big left-hand ground and pound shot lands. Carl Roberson is going to lose this round unless in the next 10 seconds he fires off something huge. Nope. 2018 for Carl Roberson. Darn it. 29-28 in favor of Roberson on my card, in my opinion. Let's make that official. I will put Turman down yonder. And we got another stupid commercial.
Oh, it's a razor. Yes, super cool. Oh, yeah. Make your skin real smooth like. Yeah. Neato.
Alrighty. Rob Amon says 29-28 in favor of Carl Roberson. Let's check the Twitter machine, see what they say. Neil says that Turman wins via pride scoring, but Roberson won 2 cards in his opinion. That'd be really cool, Michael. I don't know where to do that. I'd hire an artist. Like, basically, it's a Mario, like a Super Mario World, where he has the cape, I think. That'd be cool, man. Oh, you mean a tattoo? Oh, man, I'm kidding. I'm going to get a light bulb tattoo somewhere on my body soon. An Edison bulb. for my son.
Okay, let's go to the judges for the official decision here. Yes, okay. Here we go, official decision. Bruce Buffer's in the octagon. He's going to tell us who won this here fight, Leo.
The guys are showing mutual respect here. And Blake Grice has their wrists. Oh, we got a split decision forthcoming. 29-28, Turman. 29-28, Robertson. Carl Robertson via split decision. Baby K gets the split decision victory. Michael Bisping is in the octagon with Carl Robertson, who gets the split decision victory. Carl Robertson says he came into this fight 0-2 against Brazilians, and he wasn't about to lose this fight, baby. Huh, Michael Bisping says, you kept going into the clinch with this guy, and I'm sure your coaches are going to be upset with you about it. He says, oh yeah, I already know that my coach is going to tear me a new one. Carl Robertson, everybody. Everybody, yeah. Rock your body. Okay, Rob Amon says one judge drank Pepsi. James Carson, yes, New Jersey in the house. Get with it. MMA says New Jersey, baby, we here. And the camera shows Michael Maverick Chiesa. Okay, next up we got Josh Emmett versus Mirsad Bektic. But I think first they're going to make us watch a hype video. Yeah, they're making us watch a hype video for 2 Saturdays from now. Max Blessed Holloway versus Frankie the Answer Edgar, the main event of UFC 240. Why did the Irish chef only put 239 beans in the soup? Any more would have been too farty. Too farty. Rob Avon says that if Germaine de Randamie had fought already, he'd be making his roster cuts by now. I'm going to pick Emmett to win this fight. Let's go over, we'll go over the tail of the tape after we go over the odds. Let's see here. The odds have Mirsad Bektic minus 155, the comeback on Josh Emmett, plus 145. Over 2.5 rounds is minus 137. Fight goes to the decision is minus 220, so the odds makers think this thing's going to go to the judges, which is the most likely way for Mirsad Bektic to win. Bektic via TKO is plus 364. Emmett via TKO or KO is plus 280. Bektic wins via decision is plus 175. Emmett via decision is plus 375. Josh Emmett versus Mirsad Bektic up next. I think Josh Emmett's going to win via knockout. I think Emmett has the grappling chops to be able to defend the takedowns of the aggressive grappler in Mirsad Bektic, and I think that Bektic will tire, and then Josh Emmett will unload one of his heavy shots like he knocked out Ricardo Lamas with, like he knocked down, but not out, Jeremy Stevens with. I have to take a small break. I have to pee. I'll be right back. Here I am. I'm back. All right, here we go. Let's get ready for this here next bout contest happening in the featherweight division. If Bektic wins, he would be getting himself closer to a title shot. His only setback in his career was the knockout to Darren the Damage Elkins. I believe that's his only loss, right? Yes, his only loss. It was 2 fights ago. Since then, he's gone on to TKO Godofredo Pepe, and he won a split decision over Ricardo Lamas, actually. But that was his only loss, Darren Elkins, and he was just destroying him in that fight so badly that at one point I tweeted, Darren Elkins' corner might want to consider throwing in the towel. But then he came and just floored. Actually, like, remember the picture where it looked like Mursad didn't have a head anymore? Wild times for Darren Elkins. Elkins lost tonight via unanimous decision to Ryan Hall. Hey, if you like the video, if you like the content that I'm trying to bust out, please give the video a thumbs up. My goal for thumbs up on this video is 100. 100. And now, we're looking at Aspen Ladd, who people were making a big deal yesterday over Aspen Ladd looking just terrible on the scale. She was shaking. She needed the hoop. You know, she needed to be naked in order to make the weight. This is not the first time. Didn't she, like, collapse last time for her fight against Shajara Eubanks? Or maybe also against Tanya Evinger, but she went out and won both those fights and just destroyed Tanya Evinger. So, I don't know. I don't think that there's a lot that we could really criticize her about. Maybe she should be better about her weight cut, yada, yada, so on and so forth. But she has looked terrible on the scale many a times in the past, or at least a couple times, and gone on to get the victory. So I think that they're making a little bit of a too big of a deal out of her not looking great on the scale. Anywho, I have to check my bets. You want to know how I've done on my bets so far tonight, my friends? Well, let's just check it out. Let me put in my password here. Don't look at my keyboard. View wagers. Okay, so far tonight I have bet $20 on a parlay with Brianna Van Buren and Juliana Pena to win $38.57. I won that bet. Then I put $10 on Rodriguez, Vittori, and Robertson. Lost. Shoot. And I also put $10 on Robertson inside the distance. That lost. But now I have a bet. It's $10 to win $56 on Emmett, Simón, and Germaine de Randamie. I parlayed them. I know it's risky, but fudge it. It's just for funsies. It's not life-changing money. It's not important money. I wouldn't suggest gambling anything that's money that's important to you. I just do it for funsies. The fun times. Michael Wall says he misses the old school weigh-ins where they would weigh in at like 6 o'clock the night before. There was no ceremonial weigh-ins. The ceremonial weigh-ins were the real weigh-ins. Oh, yeah, and Josh Emmons coming off that big knockout over Michael Johnson, too. I think I like the earlier weigh-ins, the official ones being earlier. It gives the fighters more time to rehydrate, especially since they can no longer use an IV, so... Mursad Bektic did his high school wrestling in Lincoln, Nebraska, which I'm from Kearney, Nebraska, so pretty close to home for me. Robbie6066, what up, my friend? Glad to see you again. Tom Vant, hello from Belgium. No idea why I care about this card, but let's find out if Urijah Faber joins the retirement squad, and if my Dutch neighbor Germaine de Randamie can reclaim a title shot due to lack of competition. And Mirsad Bektic will be wearing the gray Valetudo shorts, which if you don't know what Valetudo shorts are, they look like boxer briefs. And he is in the Thunderhead Brewing out of Kearney, Nebraska prep point. He'll be fighting out of the blue corner. He's got his mouth guard in, and he's about to get some Vaseline put on his face. Blank Channel says this card sucks. Well, it's not the best, but perhaps we can get a finish here soon. That would be great. Mirsad Bektic has the second best strike absorption rate in UFC featherweight history, only 1.42 strikes per minute. Second highest takedown accuracy in featherweight history at 53.1%, and he has 6 first-round finishes. And he is now going to enter the Octagon, sponsored by SB Nation MMA, which includes BloodyElbow.com and MMAmania.com, the only 2 websites on the entire planet that you'll ever need to go if you want to try to figure out what's happening in mixed martial arts. Bektic looking pretty handsome right now. He's got a nice beard. It's a little better than mine, so I'm a little jelly, bruh. But here we go. Blank Channel has Germaine de Randamie and Ricky Simón winning tonight, as do I, my friend. And now, making his way to the cage is the hometown favorite, fighting out of Team Alpha Male, Josh Emmett. He was born in Phoenix, Arizona, but the crowd is loud for the hometown favorite. Team Alpha Male. Boom, we looked at a replay of him knocking out Michael Johnson, big dipping in overhand right, typical Team Alpha Male stuff. Smack, snot goes flying out of the face of Michael the Menace Johnson, and he is out sleeping. Shh, don't wake him. And now, Josh Emmett is in the Flyin Brian J prep point. Follow me on Twitter at Flyin Brian J, on Facebook at Flyin Brian Show. Josh Emmett has the second most knockdowns in a single fight, in a single UFC fight, tied for the third most at 4 versus Felipe Aranches. Last fight, he knocked out Michael Johnson on 3/30 of 2019. He has 5 wins by knockout and 2 via submission. Michael, you goof. Okay, Mike Beltran is checking all the equipment of Josh Emmett, and he is now inside of the cage. Brought to you by Thunderhead Brewing out of Kearney, Nebraska. Get with it, MMA. Says Michael Johnson woke up after the knockout like, good look, Emmett. I needed that rest. Yippers. Indubitably, my dudes. Neil, remember the old Bat Boy pics on the front page of the National Enquirer? Josh Emmett looks like that kid, all grown up. I don't remember that. But the tail of the tape, Emmett is 6 years older at 34 years of age. He is 1.5 inches shorter at 5'6" and 1/2. He weighed in 1 pound heavier at 146, and both guys have a 70-inch reach. Everything else is not virtually identical. Mirsad Bektic has a full head of hair with a beard. Not as much tattoos as the bald, no beard Josh Emmett, who has a full sleeve on his right arm. Fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 13 wins, 1 loss. He stands 5'8" tall, weighing in at 145 pounds. Fighting out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, with the GSP's gym. Ooh, they're booing him. Mirsad Bektic. And now introducing his opponent. Fighting out of the red corner, a freestyle fighter with a professional record of 14 wins, 2 losses. He stands 5'6" and 1 inch tall, weighing in at 146 pounds. Fighting out of Sacramento, California. He is in the Valetudo shorts, which look like boxer briefs. Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett needs a nickname. So Josh Bat Boy Emmett. And when the action begins, the referee in charge, Jason Herzog. But kingdom come, they will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And now, here we go. Hi, Alex B. Skater Die. And we got it started. They touched gloves in the center of the cage. They circled to the right. Both guys in the orthodox stance. Bektic with his head low behind his lead shoulder, popping that jab out there. Ooh, a jab cross lands for Mirsad Bektic. Bektic shifting his hips, feinting with the round kicks. Both guys are very active with their feet. Both guys circling back and forth, but smack dab on center of the octagon. Right now they are. Left high kick missed for Bektic. Ooh. Jab cross, high kick. The jab cross landed for Emmett, but not the high kick. Overhand right missed by Josh Emmett. Looping right hook, as Brennan Fitzgerald called it. A jab cross landed on the guard of Emmett from Bektic. Ooh. Bektic over the top of his right hand, and I think he ate a short right from Emmett on the counter. These guys are fighting pretty tight. Right on top of the center of the octagon, on top of the Thunderhead Brewing logo. Moving back and forth are both fighters. They briefly let their arms drop, shake their shoulders out, and they got their guards back up. They're both pumping the jab out. Bektic is moving forward. Emmett moving kind of back, just straight back, but now he's moving forward again. We got a little dance happening. They're both jab, cross, but not having the range. Bektic jabbed over the top of the head of Emmett, and Emmett fired that right hand, landed it. Inside low kick lands for Josh Emmett, and over the top was a right hand from Bektic. Josh Emmett's on the outside of the double stripe right now. Bektic with a right straight and an inside low kick. Outside low kick missed for Emmett. The crowd now. Let's go, Emmett. Let's go, Emmett. Bop, 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 bop. Jab cross missed by Bektic. Feinting with the overhand right was Emmett. And, I think he just landed a short right hook on the chin of Mirsad Bektic. Ooh, a right hook to the body landed for Josh Emmett. Left hook and then a right hook behind it. The right hook behind it landed for Mirsad Bektic. I don't know why the stats say that only 4 shots have landed. I feel like more than that have landed. Ooh, left high kick on the guard of Emmett from Mirsad Bektic. Overhand right missed for Bektic. Jab cross missed by Emmett. Left hook missed by Bektic. Jab moving in tight for Emmett. He gets kind of close and he gets jabbed and decides to retreat for a second. Neil says that Bektic is playing with fire at this range. Bektic is a pretty good striker. He just landed an outside low kick. Bektic doubled up on the jab. It landed on the guard of Emmett. Emmett fires the overhand right. It landed, but barely, and Bektic shook it off. Jab lands for Josh Emmett. Double jab landed on the guard of Emmett from Bektic. Left high kick on the guard of Emmett from Bektic. Ooh, they get in the phone booth for a second, and a left hook landed for Bektic. The wide right behind it almost landed on the face of Josh Emmett. But, a right hand just dropped Mirsad Bektic. Couple of hammer fists on the ground and pound. Bektic trying to survive by going in on a single leg takedown, but Josh Emmett firing away on the side of the head of Mirsad Bektic. Emmett pushes him away. Now, Josh Emmett is on top, on half guard, raining down an elbow there, ground and pound, a couple of short left hands on Mirsad Bektic. Now Josh Emmett takes the back and is firing away right hand after right hand. A right hand uppercut in tight on Mirsad Bektic. Right hammer fist, and Jason Herzog steps in, calls a stop to the contest with about 32 seconds left to go in round number uno. Josh Emmett is the winner by first round TKO. I need to see a replay on the shot that dropped him. But I told you, the chin, I thought that it would take a little longer and Mirsad would have to get tired, but I thought the chin of Mirsad Bektic would not be able to hold up to the power of Josh Emmett. I didn't see Josh Emmett being the underdog, and I was correct in my assessment. Yay me, look at me go. Oh, and I called it exactly perfect on the app. I guess I called it first round knockout by Josh Emmett on the app. Yay me. Oh, it was just a big jab. Just a stepping in solid jab that dropped Mirsad Bektic. And then it was these ground and pound shots after the fact. Uppercut from underneath the shoulder, a bunch of right hands. Both hammer fisted and just coming. A couple of hammer fists are pretty much what ended the show. Yep, bam, that uppercut from behind underneath the armpit, right? He kind of, Bektic dropped again and Herzog was forced to step in. And they show Urijah Faber in the locker room celebrating Josh Emmett's win. This is a stepping in, just bang, solid jab that dropped Mirsad Bektic. And we were watching commercials again. I want to see the replay again. Just a solid, just bam, jab, just right in his face. Ploop, dropped him. But yeah, Neil, ugh. Remember when Mirsad had that next GSP height behind him? The chin. I think his chin is his detriment. With these heavy hitters. Yep, there are a lot of commercials with ESPN Plus so far, tonight at least, Michael. A lot of them, and they all suck. No, I'm not buying any of this crap. Thank you for being here, Sansu. And now Bruce Buffer has the microphone. Jason Herzog has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes and 30 seconds of the very first round by TKO Josh Emmett. Michael Bisping is there with the winner, Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett says, come party with him. I couldn't catch what bar he's going to be at, but he said the first drink's on him. Josh Emmett's thanking everybody at Team Alpha Male. Chris holds it down. Holdsworth, Danny Castillo. Everyone that's been there since the beginning, you know who you are. 3 knockouts and 4 featherweight fights. Josh Emmett, everybody. What's up, Seth Schermerhorn? Hey, Triple X, buddy. Missed ya. I want to see, yeah, another look. Just a stepping in. Just the kind of shuffle, the shuffle step. You know, not crossing your feet over, just like plant one after the other. Josh Emmett moving forward and just bing, bing, just pops him down, sets him on his tushy, Mirsad Bektic's tushy, and then just firing away. The right hand's the ground and pound. A couple might have been, you know, a little behind the ear, but this uppercut underneath the armpit, boop, put him away. Oh, Michael Wall, not MMA, but I've been rewatching Breaking Bad, binge watching Breaking Bad for a few weeks. I'm almost done. What should I watch next? Oh man, Breaking Bad might be the best show ever. It's so good. If you haven't seen Better Call Saul, binge watch that next. And if you haven't seen Ozark, watch Ozark after that. In my opinion, all of those are great shows. Really, really good. Yeah, Ryan Hall won via unanimous decision over Darren Elkins. He got the better of Darren with the striking, threatening with submissions. He got a spinning heel that landed really solid in the first round on Darren Elkins. And in the second round, it was a couple of popping left straights by Ryan Hall that the second one put Darren Elkins on his butt for a moment. It was a very well-rounded performance by Ryan Hall. You know, kind of Ryan Hall-esque, you know, kind of slow and not fully exciting, but it was an interesting contest nonetheless. Jack Ryan's pretty good. Robbie 6066. It's got Jim Halpert as a bad mamma jamma, which is kind of crazy. All right, next up, co-main event of the evening. Urijah, the California man, Faber versus Ricky Simón. Urijah, the California man, is 34-10. Ricky Simón, 11-1. Both men are 5'6" tall. 2-inch reach advantage will be in favor of Ricky Simón at 69 inches. If you haven't already, please consider giving the video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. If not, go ahead, thumb it down. Show me your real opinion. We're looking at a hype video for next week's UFC event. It is main evented or headlined UFC on ESPN 4 on regular ESPN. Rafael Dos Nachos versus Leon Rocky Edwards in the main event. Co-main event, Alexei Oleinik versus Walt Harris. Before that, Greg Hardy versus Juan Adams. James Vick versus Dan the Hangman Hooker. Alexander Hernandez versus Francisco Masaranduba Trinaldo. And the one kicking off the main card is Andre Pitbull Arlovsky versus the Dark Lord, Ben Rothwell. In the co-main event of the evening, I've got Ricky Simón winning via TKO in RD number dos. Let's check my bets for this card. I should have just bet Emmett straight up. I don't know why, but I put him in this parlay for the big monies. Money sign 89. View wagers. Oh yeah, let's go over those odds again. Emmett wins via TKO or KO, plus 280 on most places. If you got him on William H, you could have got him at plus 350 via TKO or KO. Fight does not go to the judges was minus 120. I think there was some good bets to be made there. So I need Ricky Simón to win and also Germaine de Randamie to win for my $10 to turn into $66. The odds for this co-main event. Ricky Simón is the favorite, minus 355. The comeback on Urijah Faber, plus 320. over 2.5 rounds is minus 240. The comeback on under 2.5 rounds is plus 210. And the odds makers think this fight will go to the judges 2-1 for that to happen. Ricky Simón via KO or TKO is plus 375. Faber wins via KO or TKO is plus 1242. Simón via submission is plus 950. Faber wins via submission is plus 850. I think we're going to see a second round TKO victory via ground and pound by the newcomer. Not newcomer, but the relative unknown youngster, Ricky Simón. No spoilers on Stranger Things, please. Oh, God, only 3 episodes in. I don't know. I haven't been able to get into the 3rd season, actually. I'm not, like, I don't know. It's, like, the 1st season was, like, kind of sci-fi, but mostly not sci-fi. It was, like, 75, I don't know what, like, drama, 25% sci-fi. And season 3 is, like, 75% sci-fi, 20% drama, and 5%, all right, fine, 25%. Just drama. Seth Schermerhorn has never heard of Ricky Simón, and he watches a lot of the UFC. Ricky Simón came off of Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, now called Dana White's Contender Series, where he won a split decision over Donovan Freelo, but then did not get the contract that night. Then he went to the LFA and won the bantamweight championship his next time out against Chico Camus, and then knocked out Vinicius Zani his next time out at 7 events later at LFA. Came at 59 seconds, round number 1. Got the call into the UFC, defeated Merab Dvalishvili via technical submission, guillotine choke at the very end of the fight in the Fight of the Night performance. Then he defeated Montel Jackson, who they like talking about has the biggest hands in MMA, like they're the size of Francis Ngannou's. And then his last time out, he put the smack down via decision over Hani Yahya. Triple X said that Faber should have stayed retired. Yes, I agree. Neil said, Faber was the cheapest fighter to put on a DraftKings roster for this card. I had to add him to my squad. Unlikely to get finished and should still have decent output in a loss. A win would be a bonus. Yeah, that'd be good for you. But I just need Ricky Simón to win, and it would be great for me if, for my verdict MMA picks, if Ricky Simón got a second round TKO. Because so far, I've got every winner right. I've gotten 2 results exactly right. And I did not get Carl Robertson, the method proper, but I had Josh Emmett via TKO or KO in round number 1. So that's pretty dope. And I have Simón KO or TKO round 2. I've got Germaine de Randamie via decision. Follow me or friend me on Verdict MMA if you get the app. So cool beans, right? And right now we are about to see Ricky Simón make his way to the cage. I believe there are some empty seats in the arena tonight in Sacramento, California. Rob Amos says, why did Faber unretire? Supposedly in the lead up to this fight, Faber said that he was never taken out of the USADA testing pool. So I'm not sure he ever really intended to retire. He said he still, like all of them, he said he still had that itch. I think it was TJ Dillashaw said that Urijah ran out of money. I don't believe that either, but I think, I think he still has the itch to compete. But, I mean, Ricky Simón's 26, Urijah Faber's 40. I just don't see Faber winning this fight. Urijah Faber in this promo just said that he had to itch that scratch. Kind of like earlier tonight, Chris Holds It Down Holdsworth was in the corner of Darren Elkins, I believe, and he said, "We did a better round that job. Did a better round that job, Darren." What? I don't know what that means, bro, Montana. Also, I mean, you heard me say the California man, but Urijah Faber really should not call himself the California kid anymore. You're 40 years old, brother. Michael Wall says that Urijah Faber unretired because he's a competitor who just had a kid. Why wouldn't he want more money? Ricky Simón is saying that Urijah Faber picked the wrong guy to fight after coming out of retirement. I'm too fast to hit too strong, or something like that. Got a wicked, awesome mullet, does Ricky Simón. Ooh, Rob Amon foreshadowing that Darren Elkins might be on the butcher block, might be on the chopping block tonight on the post-fight show. Tonight on the post-fight show, I will be by myself. But in the weeks to come, at least next week and the week after that, I'm going to have a guest host. I'm going to be trying to have rotating guest hosts. I think you're really going to like who my guest co-host for the post-fight show at UFC 240 is going to be. I think you're really going to like the person who I've got lined up for that. I won't tell you who it is yet, just in case they change their mind and don't want to be here, but it's a pretty big name. I think it's a pretty big name anyway. Ender is watching from the Netherlands, and it's 4 in the morning. Well, thank you so much for being here. Are you still up, or did you wake up early to listen to this co-main event and main event? Ricky Simón making his way to the octagon, and they are booing him. Poor fella. If you haven't already, please consider giving the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. As you can see right here, my goal for subscribers by the end of July is 80,000. We only need, 300 and change to get to that goal. I think we can do it. I just need a little bit of help from you, my friends. And please give the video a thumbs up. We're at 37 or 36 maybe. My goal is 100. Ricky Simón. He might not have his mullet tonight. He's got a man bun. But Ricky Simón has the second. He's tied for the third longest active win streak in the bantamweight division at 3. His latest finish in the third round. Latest finish in a 3-round fight in UFC history at no seconds left in the third round. It was at the very end of the fight. And he appeared on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, Season 1, Episode 5. Thank you so much for subscribing, Chris Turnage. I appreciate you, my friend. Ricky Simón is wearing green board shorts, kind of Muay Thai-like. They're slit up the side about halfway. I'll still call them board shorts. Oh, man. Neil said, did Ricky double braid his mullet? It looks like he did double braid his mullet. It's a mohawk mullet, and he braided up the back and turned into a man bun. It looked way better as just a long flowing mohawk mullet, Ricky. Smokes, let's go. Ricky. The cheeseburger wall stole my kitty, Ricky. Oh, yep. Urijah Faber walking out to California Love by Tupac and Dr. Dre. Dre putting it down for California. Bruce Buffer dancing on the side of the cage, right? California knows how to party, knows how to party. California knows how to party. In the city of Compton. Yeah. Oh, mohawk. Oh, I like it, Michael. Nice. Man, I think Urijah Faber's going to lose this fight, but gotta love the walkout. Gotta love the crowd is going ballistic for him right now. Hooting and hollering and Tupac. This song is dope. AF. It's in Sacramento, California. I mean, this is dope right now. Urijah Faber was born in Isla Vista, California. You can follow him on Instagram and Twitter at Urijah Faber. He is now in the Thunderhead Brewing out of Kearney, Nebraska prep point. Brought to you by SB Nation MMA, which includes BloodyElbow.com and MMAmania.com, the only 2 websites you'll ever need to go if you're looking to figure out what's happening in the mixed martial arts. Brendan Fitzgerald just said that Michael Bisping's dancing with his phone out, capturing the moment. Nice. I mean, and now Brendan Fitzgerald's talking about the impact that Urijah Faber has had on this sport. I remember way back in the day in the WEC, my dad, Urijah Faber's so excited to be here, he almost forgot to get the Vaseline put on his face. He was going to go into the cage, but now he's getting the Vaseline put on his face. But yeah, my dad watched Urijah Faber compete in the WEC way back in the day. He's a UFC Hall of Famer. He's the former WEC bantamweight champion. He's got the most submissions in UFC bantamweight history at 6. I think most of them are probably via rear naked choke, but he does have that standing, or via guillotine choke, but he does have that standing rear naked choke over, well, I can't remember. Let's just look it up. Look it up. I got to look it up. I got to look it up. Over Ivan Menjivar, I believe. Before I get there... Yes, Ivan Menjivar, standing rear naked choke, February 23rd, 2013. Also rear naked choke, Scott Jorgensen. Rear naked choke over Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres. Bulldog choke over Francisca Rivera. So, rear naked choke over Takeya Mizugaki. Oh, that was in WEC. Brian Bowles, guillotine. Guillotine over Michael McDonald. So a mixture of bulldog rear nakeds and guillotines. And now the tail of the tape. 40 years old is Urijah Faber. He's 14 years older than Ricky Simón. And now Bruce Buffer has the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event, the co-main event of the evening. Brought to you by Thunderhead Brewing out of Kearney, Nebraska. In the UFC bantamweight division, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 15 wins, 1 loss. He stands 5'6" tall, weighing in at 134.5 pounds. Fighting out of Vancouver, Washington, a minus 350 favorite, Ricky El Mullet Simón. Yeah, he got Donald Cruz via guillotine too, but I was just going over UFC finishes. And now, introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, with a professional record of 34 wins, 10 losses. He stands 5'6" tall, weighing in at 135.5 pounds. Fighting out of Sacramento, California, a UFC Hall of Famer, Urijah the California Man Faber. Warrior. I think once you're over 30, you cannot be called the California Kid anymore, or the Kid anything. Mike Beltran will be our referee. Let's get these stats ready for you cats. And here we go. They meet in the center of the octagon. They do not touch gloves. Both guys are wearing board shorts. Both guys are fighting out of the orthodox stance. Urijah Faber, his shorts are black. Ricky Simón's are green. Urijah Faber moving forward, has his hands out long, leaping in left hook, missed by Ricky Simón. A right hand connected though when they got in tight here by Ricky Simón. Inside low kick lands for Ricky Simón. Lead left hook landed for Ricky Simón, and Urijah Faber's on wobbly legs. A flying knee attempted by Ricky Simón. Urijah Faber is still on wobbly legs. He's moving back, straight back toward the fence here. Simón outside low kick lands heavily. Ooh, an overhand right by Urijah Faber dropped Ricky Simón, and he's on his butt now, just trying to survive. Urijah Faber goes over the top of him. Two ground and pound strikes for Urijah Faber. Finished Ricky Simón. Ricky Simón trying to wrestle Urijah Faber. Urijah Faber got the knockout in round number 1 within less than a minute. Overhand right. What? Holy sh! Ricky Simón hugs Urijah Faber. Whoa! Whoa! Oh! 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 My goodness. Simón looks very dejected. He's hanging his head. Urijah Faber saying, "Don't hang your head, buddy." Slaps him on the butt. What? Oh my goodness gracious. That was one of the most exciting, like, 50-second fights I've ever seen. My goodness. June, many exciting cuss words. Bam, big overhand right. Leaned over in the overhand right and right on the temple. Bang. Ricky Simón, boom. Man, that was a big overhand right. Simón goes like face down, gets on his knees, goes to his back, flips Urijah Faber over the top of him, and 2 ground and pound strikes with his left hand, and then a few hammer fists with his right hand after that, and it's over. Mike Beltran steps in and calls a stop to the contest, and Ricky Simón is still trying to wrestle Urijah Faber, but Mike Beltran had seen enough. That was the fastest finish in Urijah Faber's career. Whoa. Wow, I take back everything I said. Pre-fight, I counted out Urijah Faber. I counted him out hard. Whoa. I'm very surprised by this. Man, my bet now is nullified. Damn. Darn. Excuse me, I apologize. What? My goodness. Well, we got out of there pretty quick. Wow, I'm excited to hear this post-fight interview. Zero the Great says, "I was so excited I typed it very quick. I typed very quickly and the autocorrect got him." Huh. Zoltan Boze, you won't be betting on height versus a veteran next time. Sansu says, "Baby's college fund motivation. Good for him." Good for Urijah Faber. Wow, is he going to retire again? What's this bonkers to me? Is he like he was not that successful against Brad Pickett? Team Alpha Male had themselves a night. Let's see. Let's see about the Team Alpha Male victories. So we had Urijah Faber. Before him, Josh Emmett got the first-round finish over Mirsad Bektic. You had Andre Fili getting a first-round knockout over Sheymon Moraes. You had Benito Lopez getting a decision earlier on. Darren Elkins lost to Ryan Hall, but, man, Team Alpha Male had themselves a night. Nathan Cohen is going to be upset. Michael Bisping is now with Urijah Faber. Urijah Faber says that the crowd makes him feel amazing. He loves fighting in front of Sacramento. He says Ricky Simón is going to be a terror in this weight class. He's just not there quite yet. It takes a lot of experience. Faber says he always finishes, Uriah Faber says that Dana White called him old, and he said that he knows that when Dana was 28, he was already old, but I'm 40 and I'm still a young man. Faber responds to Henry Cejudo calling him out, and he says, he said he'd love to fight Henry Cejudo. He said there's only one reason he does this, and that's to test himself. Wow. Urijah Faber says that Song Yadong taught him that right hand. Of course, last week Song Yadong got that knockout via very similar punch. Big ducking in, ducking to his left, throwing the overhand right on the temple. He said he learned it from Song Yadong. His young Chinese champ hit it last week. Boom. Urijah Faber says that, not to be mean, but Ricky Simón has a big target there. I'm going to hit this dude's head for sure. Michael Bisping offered him the mic one more time, and Urijah Faber said, I'm good. So, great performance, great post-fight interview by Urijah the California man Faber, proving that he's not as old as Dana White said. Wow. Wowerson. Triple X says, I don't think it's a good idea to go against Triple C, Henry Cejudo. Michael Wall, can't justify him and Henry at this point, but stranger things have happened. We've been talking about the series for a while on the show, man. Bang. So Urijah got hurt by a lead left hook by Ricky Simón, and then it was a big overhand right, team alpha male style, that got Ricky Simón in the end. Next up is the main event of the evening. Germaine de Randamie versus Aspen Ladd for, I think, a number one contender fight. It's a number one contender spot on the line for the winner of this bout. I think they'll probably fight Amanda The Lioness Nunes next. I also think this fight might go to a decision. And because of that, I think that we're going to have a long fight coming up next. And I need to take myself just a tiny little bathroom break. I drank like this thing of coffee right before we started. I wanted to make sure I had a lot of energy for you kiddos. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you for sticking around. Michael Wall says Faber Cruz would be a good timing for both. Let's check. How many times have they fought each other? Urijah, the California man Faber, has fought Cruz. He fought and lost to Cruz at UFC 199 for the UFC Bantamweight Championship, co-main event of the evening. And he defeated, he's already lost to him twice via decision in the UFC. Do you want to see a fourth fight between the two? I mean, they got history. Maybe, but I don't know. What would be next for the California man? I don't really know. Get with it, MMA says, man, Cruz can't even walk up a flight of stairs without an injury. Let's take a peek at the UFC rankings. Just take a little peek-saroo. Let me pull this up. Bantamweight. Ricky Simón was ranked number 15. Urijah Faber just defeated him. I could see a fight with John Dodson. That'd be fine. Have they fought before? Urijah Faber's never fought John Dodson. I think that he should be next. I think they should fight each other next. John Dodson, does he have a fight lined up? Oh, fuck. Well, he lost to Pingyuan on February 23rd. Oh. Neil, you son of a gun. Rafael Assunção's never fought Faber? Yes, he has, hasn't he? Rafael Assunção. Yeah, Urijah Faber beat Rafael Assunção at UFC or at WEC 46 in January of 2010. Yeah. Thank you for being here, Dan Mack. I appreciate it, my friend. Julian Tomescu says GDR at plus 105. I would bet that. I would definitely bet that. I like it. I think John Dodson versus Urijah Faber, that could be next. Let's go over the odds for our main event of the evening. They have Aspen Ladd at minus 115 to come back on Germaine de Randamie at plus 105. The odds makers think this fight is going to go not to the decision. Fight doesn't go to a decision is minus 225. Whoa. Fight starts round 2, minus 367. Fight starts round 3, minus 170. Fight starts round 4, minus 106. Fight starts round 5, plus 145. So the odds makers think the fight is either going to end third or fourth round, it looks like. What do you guys think? Julian Tomescu has been watching since my beer pairing days. Thanks so much for being here, man. I appreciate that a lot. I would do more beer pairings, but they're not very popular, so we don't do them anymore. We're watching a hype video for Aspen Ladd versus Germaine de Randamie. I think Germaine de Randamie is going to keep the fight on the feet and be able to pick and poke her way to a unanimous decision. She's a better kickboxer than Aspen Ladd. She's got great takedown defense. Has only been taken down like one time in the UFC. Got 88% takedown defense. Oh my God. Zoltan Bose says Gregor Gillespie versus Urijah Faber. Put my entire life savings on Gregor Gillespie. Right? Maybe I'm crazy. I guess I bet on Ricky Simón. But my goodness. Oh, yeah. Okay. Zoltan. Gregor's a lightweight. And now making her way to the octagon to like an Irish jig sounding song is Aspen Ladd. The youngster. The up-and-comer. Sir Gold. Urijah Faber knocked out or TKO'd Ricky Simón in the very first round. Well, thank you for being here. Abhishek Singh, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Good morning. It's time, says Rob Amon. Aspen Ladd is now in the Flyin Brian J Thunderhead Brewing MMA Mania BloodyElbow.com prep point. She is going to be wearing, or not going to be, she is wearing a black sports bra, black top, but like showing the midsection, and black short shorts that are kind of board short style. She is undefeated 8-0, tied for the third most knockouts in UFC bantamweight history, and has 5.6 significant strikes landed per minute, 76% higher than most of the bantamweight division. Neil says the only 3 women to beat Germaine de Randamie all currently hold gold in their respective companies. Amanda Nunes, UFC, Julia Budd, Bellator, and Vanessa Porto in Invicta. Zoltan Bose says NorCal Pride, go Aspen. Germaine de Randamie has a 3-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. I think the more aggressive fighter is going to be Aspen Ladd, but now the red corner fighter. Oh yeah, we got a main event coming up. Bing, 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 bing. Let's go to this one. And Germaine de Randamie is going to make her way to the octagon, listening to a more solemn song, a kind of calming song. Maybe she's looking for a kind of meditative effect. It's got a rap sound to it, there's a rapper on top of like some calm acoustic music. So maybe she's not looking for like that calming meditative state, but it's definitely not like let's get effing jazz music. Let's get really pumped up, my friends. Shariah Palomar says Aspen Ladd 3rd round TKO. If you like the content, please consider giving the video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. My goal for thumbs up on this video is 100. Germaine de Randamie is born in Utrecht, the Netherlands. You can follow her on social media at Iron Lady MMA. She is now in the Flyin Brian J prep point. You can follow me on Twitter at Flyin Brian J. It's Brian with an I, flying without a G and a J at the end of it. Send me a message and I'll follow you back. Michael Bisping says that Germaine de Randamie is without a doubt, one of the best strikers that the UFC has ever seen in the women's divisions. And Michael Bisping is saying that Germaine de Randamie is doing this for the love. She's a full-time police officer. She's a kickboxing world champion. She's an athletic lady as well, says Michael Bisping. She's asking for a drink of water. Corner's taking a long time to get it to her, and they get her some water. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And she just spits it up in the air. Okie doke. That was important that she got that. She's now getting Vaseline put on her face. Kyle Mungari says if Ladd wins, it will be via decision. Germaine de Randamie is the former UFC featherweight champion. She's 46-0 in professional kickboxing record with 30 knockouts, the second highest takedown defense in UFC bantamweight history at 88%. That is huge. I think that's going to play huge in this fight. Maybe if Ladd gets it down, that'd be huge for her. If she can't, that's huge for Germaine de Randamie. Regardless of what you think of de Randamie, she is a high-level fighter, and she is now in the octagon. She is wearing blue Vale Tudo shorts with a blue sports bra up top. She looks really tall. I know, like, the tail of the tape says that she is 5'9", but man, she looks tall. Lanky. Shariah Palomar says if Ladd wins, expect a brawl with Nunes. Michael Wall, I hope someone walks out to I Like Life at Patty's Pub. Someday I know Rob and Charlie Day are MMA fans. I'm sure it would be free. Neil, this is the first time the UFC has put Ladd on the main event. Hard to sell an event with half the headliners have never been seen by the general public. But here we are. And Bruce Buffer has the microphone. He says, ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Sponsored by Thunderhead Brewing out of Kearney, Nebraska. And specifically, Sheybon's Pilsner. A fantastic beer for summertime. It's a German Pilsner with Hallertau Hersbrucker hops. Our judges are Michael Bell, Derek Clearly, and Ron McCarthy. Our referee in charge is Herb Dinas, the referees. And now, for those in attendance and UFC fans watching around the world, this is the moment some people have been waiting for. It's time! 5 rounds in the UFC Women's Bantamweight Division. Introducing first. Julian Tomescu says that Germaine de Randamie hasn't watched any footage on Ladd. What the heck? I was unaware of that. And introducing first, Aspen Ladd, 8-0, standing 5'6", weighing in at 135 pounds. She's a minus 135 favorite. And I messed it up. Aspen Ladd, yeah. Sheybon's Pilsner, yes. Solomon Fire. And now introducing her opponent, fighting out of the red corner. Muay Thai kickboxer with a professional record of 8 wins, 3 losses. She stands 5'9" tall, weighing in at 136 pounds. Fighting out of Utrecht, the Netherlands, a plus 105 underdog. The Iron Lady, Germaine de Randamie. Sansu asked about how do I think that Aspen Ladd's going to do after that tough weight cut. I think that she's looked terrible on weigh-in day, her last few fights, and she has excelled. I mean, she just stomped a mud hole right through Tanya Evinger, and it was a tight fight against Sajara Eubanks, but she was successful. And I think, I don't think it's going to affect the outcome of this bout. Get these stats ready for you. All right, here we go. All right. They touch gloves in the center of the cage on top of the Thunderhead Brewing logo. We got both fighters in the orthodox stance. Germaine de Randamie, light on her lead foot, lands a jab as she backs away, lands another jab as she backs away, throws another jab out there. Oh, a big right hand sent Aspen Ladd down, and Herb Dean calls a stop to the contest. The Iron Lady, a single right hand strike, put Aspen Ladd on her butt, and Herb Dean calls a stop to the contest. Wow. And the crowd is booing. Whoa. Obviously, the Iron Lady, Germaine de Randamie, is next for Amanda The Lioness Nunes after that 23-second stoppage victory for Germaine de Randamie. That's probably the June says the fastest knockout in UFC history. Bam. Germaine pops the jab out there, and then the right hand crushed the jaw, sent Aspen Ladd to the canvas. Couple of shots after that. Did she? Jab, cross, sent her face down. She goes to her hands and knees. And Herb Dean just called a stop after that. She threw a left hook, and it landed on the body of Aspen Ladd. I think it might have been an early stoppage. Germaine de Randamie's on the phone. Weird. Aspen Ladd sitting on a stool, looks dejected. Yep. So Germaine landed, we could just watch that whole fight over again. Germaine landed the jab. She landed the jab again, moving sideways. Aspen Ladd kind of coming forward, feinted her own jab. Germaine de Randamie popped the jab out there. Bam! Crushed her. I don't know about the stoppage by Herb Dean. Aspen Ladd seemed to have her wits about her. I would have been fine to see a couple of ground and pound strikes to really solidify it. But, I don't know, you go down like that, kind of face first. If you fall like a sack of potatoes, maybe that's a good stoppage. regardless of what you think of the stoppage by Herb Dean, regardless of if there's controversy whatsoever after this fight, after this card is over for that stoppage, impressive performance from Germaine de Randamie. And she's got a lot of pop in her hands. I mean, the champion, Amanda Nunes, has obviously quite a bit of power. She Holly Holm. She got in a brawl with Chris Cyborg and right hand after right hand sent Cyborg to the canvas. And now I think she's going to fight Germaine de Randamie, who we've known that she's got good striking skills for a long time. She also just showed right there she's got a lot of pop in her own hands. She has a TKO loss to Amanda Nunes from back in 2013, I believe. It was on a Fight for the Troops card. But I'm excited to see that rematch. I think that's going to be what's booked next. Tied for the fastest knockout in UFC women's bantamweight history. Tied for the fastest. Zoltan Bose says, I think Herb Dean is scared of the Mario Yamasaki scenario, and the crowd, the arena is booing pretty profusely. The Iron Lady, Germaine de Randamie. It did, James Carson, it did look like Germaine was going to uncork some big bombs on Aspen Ladd on the canvas, but we didn't really get to see that play out. She threw one left hook that kind of landed on the body, and Herb Dean stepped in. The crowd's booing quite a bit, and Germaine de Randamie says, I understand, Sacramento. I understand. Michael Bisping says, what's next? Bisping asked her what's next, and she just said, I don't know. Let's see what the UFC says is next. Bang. So Michael Bisping had asked her what she thought of the stoppage, and now she's looking at it. She said, I mean, now she's looking at it. She said, I think it's a good stoppage. I understand why Sacramento is booing. But Aspen, I respect you. Thank you so much. It was an honor. She said when she lands the right hand, it seemed like Aspen didn't know where she was, and she thinks it's a good stoppage. And now Michael Bisping is going to interview Aspen Ladd. She says shit happens. Aspen Ladd says of the stoppage, he did what he thought was best. I felt fine, but you can't help these things. Wow, okay. Neil, Rousey's 16-second KO of Alexis Davis was much more convincing, no doubt, in that one. Yeah, in that knockout, Neil, Alexis Davis was actually asleep before the judo toss onto the canvas. Michael Wall says, proof your ability to take a shot diminishes when you're seriously dehydrated your body and have a bad weight cut. Takes a while for fluid to protect your brain. Salmon Fire says, shift happens indeed. Hee hee. Yeah, okay. So when she went to throw Germaine went to throw like the left hook, ground and pound strike after dropping her, after just like shaking her jaw. She goes to throw this left, and Herb Dean grabs her arm at that time. So maybe that would have landed pretty hard. So people are going to be talking about the early stoppage for a while. I know in the post-fight on Twitter, people are going to be debating the stoppage. There's going to be gifts put out by Kaposa, Grabaka Hitman, ZP Gifts, the Zombie Prophet, and all that jazz. So let's I'll be part of the debate. What's up, Jeremy McMullen? Germaine de Randamie just TKO'd Aspen Ladd at 16 seconds of round number 1. She hit her with one jab. She hit her with another jab. She circled off. She threw like a feinting jab and then came with the right cross behind it. Rocked her jaw, sent her to the canvas, and Herb Dean called a stop to it. Aspen kind of seemed to have her wits about her still. It's going to go down as probably an early stoppage in a lot of people's minds, but we don't know how the rest of the fight would have played out. Well, I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to just shut this stream down, and then I'll start a new stream that will be called the Post-Fight Show, where you guys, the live chat, will be my co-host for this event. It'll just be myself and you. We'll go over all the fights that we watched, our post-fight bonuses for the evening. We'll talk about the techniques used, maybe some WTF moments of the card. We will give a post-fight rating between 1 and 10 on the card. We're going to have a lot of fun. It'll be about a half-hour-long show. I'll be over there in a moment. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this content, please give the video a thumbs up. My goal was 100 on this show. I'll see you guys in a moment for the post-fight show. Namaste.